sometimes you truly don't know what you're missing until it's gone. That was the case for me with League of Legends. Let me take you back to 2016, whenever a younger David Shylock was still in love with Call of Duty, with Smite. And I honestly played 1 or 2 games of League of Legends, and that was about it. Really not all that much. Fast forward to 2017, started playing the game pretty consistently, but I was playing the game solo for a long period of time. It wasn't until Optic got into the LCS, I had a bunch of Optic friends that also played League of Legends, so we all started playing together, and it was a blast. I finally had a group of 5 people, sometimes more, that enjoyed playing the game of League of Legends. At that time, Riot Games released an event called Odyssey, which was a massive thing. It had a PvE element to it. There was a whole trailer with Jinx.
So, consider this your invite to join the greatest crew in the galaxy.
With Sona, Malphite, and a bunch of champions. It was like one of the best moments for League of Legends that I remember in a long time. Like, it seemed like all the community was excited, like everybody was happy, and all of my friends that I had made wanted to play the Odyssey PvE game mode, or like the thing that wasn't actually League of Legends but was still in the game. And I played it maybe once, but honestly, I was having so much fun playing the actual game itself because I was still, trying to unlock all the champions right at the beginning of my ranked addiction and grind that, I don't know. Playing anything but regular League of Legends did not sound appealing to me whatsoever at the time. Unfortunately, I didn't realize how missing of a feeling that would be as time would go on. But now, as we sit in 2023 and we finally get the return of some other game mode that's not just Earth, I think I'm finally going to enjoy it this time. Now, in case you've been living under a rock, Riot Games just announced the Soul Fighter event coming to League of Legends in July. This will feature a 2v2v2v2 game mode that has been teased for a while now. It will also include skins, like an in-game fighting thing in the client, which is basically like, how they did those storybook things. It's basically going to be like that, except actually interactive and fun this time, and a bunch of other stuff for like Wild Rift TFT. This isn't an info dump on the event. If you want that, I did a video on TikTok, and obviously Riot's got all their stuff out on the main channel. This is to ask the question, does this event mark League of Legends being, back?
We are back, baby. We are fucking back!
People debate all the time, is League of Legends dead? Does Riot truly care about this game anymore? Well, let's compare the Soul Fighter event, or Soul Fight event, to Odyssey. And the truth is, even excluding TFT and Legends of Runeterra, there is more to do in this event, and this event is more all-encompassing than what Odyssey was, by a pretty wide margin. Now, granted, you would expect these events to get bigger as time goes on, as League continues to evolve as a game and they can do more. But honestly, I'd be willing to hazard a guess to say that this is probably going to be the most influential event that League has ever seen.
Are you sure about that?
The one thing missing from this event that I'm really curious to see if they do that will put it like square above, head and shoulders bar none, is a cinematic. There was notably that Odyssey cinematic whenever the event actually launched itself 2 days prior. And I don't think I have to remind anybody that cinematics in League of Legends this year are not even there, missing, a very hot point of contention, whatever you want to call it. It's not been pretty.
Once again, I stand at the brink of infinity.
So, will we actually see some sort of cinematic for this event whenever the actual event gets launched? Because so far, we're still a month out, to be clear. You could play most of the stuff on PvE, but personally, I'm not a big fan of playing PvE things because it ruins the actual event itself. For me, part of the fun is just waking up the morning of the event, buying the pass and grinding it out, and not even being sure what you want to do specifically, because there's so many different options available to you. It's like a mini Christmas morning in July. It's great. Nothing gets me this level of excited much anymore besides like these big events like this, and Worlds obviously as well. But like, I remember back to the days where it was like Modern Warfare 2, Assassin's Creed 2, and Halo all dropping on Christmas Day, and like Fable as well. And you're just sitting there like, I've got so many games. What do I play? What do I do? And it's that exact same feeling right now. Gotta grab my lunch quick. I am not one to gatekeep restaurants. That is Donburiya. It is a Japanese place, not Japanese barbecue, just Japanese cuisine. I think on like 56th and 8th Avenue. Phenomenal spot. I get a Yakodon at least once a week for lunch. It's a great deal. You get rice bowl, chicken, egg, onion, salad, and soup as well. Oh, so good. But while I'm personally excited for this event, the question is this going to grow the game of League of Legends? Are more people going to start playing the game because of interesting and cool events like this? Is this enough to overturn what is like 10 years now of this game being out? And is there a market that quite frankly just doesn't know what League of Legends is or has never played it and wants to try it because of this? Maybe. I don't know. It's worth a shot, quite frankly. Riot's marketing team knows way better than I do, so who am I to sit here and say that? But one group of people that I feel like I can speak for a little bit more validly now than I used to be able to in 2018 whenever Odyssey was out is how this might affect the existing player base, because there is a little bit of concern to be had there. Remember that original group of friends that I mentioned that I play with? Well, myself and Paul, who's the co-host of my podcast, are really the only two that play the game anymore on a consistent basis. After that Odyssey event and after that period of time in general, people really started enjoying playing those additional game modes more than they enjoyed playing the actual game of League of Legends. And it became the segue for them to stop playing the game at some point in time over the next year, year and a half. And there is that risk of people who genuinely love 2v2v2v2 or Arena so much that they end up stop playing League of Legends and they just never return to it. So you do have to be concerned about churn here, the amount of people that might end up leaving. Now, is that a reason to not make this game mode? No, absolutely not. You need to be doing other things to make sure that people are still entertained with the game outside of these events and those game modes. And I think Riot already has the answer. It's just a matter of whether they implement it or not. If you weren't aware, there's a Singaporean food market, or like basically food court, in the middle of 50th and 51st Street, which just has a bunch of Singapore vendors, and it's incredible in here. 10 out of 10 recommend literally any place here. One of the ways that I personally really enjoy playing League of Legends is in a rec league. Basically, you play one game a week or one series a week, and that contributes to your overall record, which then feeds into a playoff system. And I currently play through the low-budget LCS, a phenomenal way, which, by the way, their new season starts up, I think, signups open in July, beginning of July. Be sure to check out their Discord. They'll be able to tell you. But it's the exact same thing that Valorant's Premier Mode has in-game itself.
The team needs 5 to 7 players. You can form your own or join one. So start thinking about who you'll play with. Once your roster is set, it's time for the owner to enroll your team and select your zone. The zone determines what servers you'll play on and also decides your match schedule. You'll then be seeded into one of 20 divisions based on the average MMR of your team's top 5 players. Finally, your premier team is ready to compete. Each week, you'll play up to 2 matches. View the schedule, map rotation, and queue up from the Team Hub. Each match earns points towards your premier score. More for winning, none if you don't play. Your premier score determines whether you qualify for the playoff tournament.
That right there is the way that you keep people playing traditional League of Legends on Summoner's Rift without having to grind rank 24/7 and deal with solo queue, but still get them playing on a weekly consistent basis. You have those seasons run in between events. So if I'm the CEO of Riot Games, I put myself in their shoes. I'm having an event in April, a few months after the season's already begun, one in July like we're having now, and one directly after Worlds or like at the end of it, so end of October, November period, and then you're clear through the holiday season and you go throughout. But in between all of those, you have the Premier Mode. You have this thing that gets people still playing the game and engaged, but not as involved as you need to be for these events like Soul Fighter, like Odyssey was, or any of these things where you're really grinding a pass and grinding tokens, because you don't want to spam those 24/7, because then the modes get old, things kind of get old, you just feel like you're doing the same thing. You want to keep those fresh, like 3 times a year. But that Premier Mode, that way to keep playing, cannot recommend low budget LCS enough if you have never tried it. I know many people that I've recommended it to on Twitter and TikTok have fallen in love with it, have their own teams now. So yes, 10 out of 10 recommend. So to wrap all of this up, am I going to be playing Arena a lot? Yes, I'm going to make sure I do not pass up on the event this time around the mode, I'm going to be getting literally everything and grinding it more than I've grinded any game in recent years. 1000%. Is that going to stop me from playing traditional Summoner's Rift? No, absolutely not. I love the base game. I got the low budget LCS coming up, but it is something that we do need to keep in mind that yes, this event might change some feelings for people on how they view the game unintentionally just because they really enjoy the 2v2 mode. And there's nothing you can do about that. Also, last minute, really quick shout out to the team at Riot that put this event together. I know they've been rebuilding over the last few years post-COVID, so I'm sure this launch is going to be incredibly stressful for them, but also incredibly hyped as well. Congratulations to everybody on that team. Can't wait to see how this one turns out and how all future events turn out. Looking forward to it. Let's hope this event goes really, really well. I hope it's perceived well from the community. I'm personally more excited about this than anything I have been in a long time for League of Legends, even more so than Clash, and even that was pretty hype for me. But yeah, quick little lunchtime vlog for everybody. I'll get to set it up, put it out tomorrow. Be sure to check out the podcast, literally the day after. And yeah, thank you all for 850 subs. See you on the next video. Adios.